Saturday night at Yankee Stadium, the Tigers continue the season-long trend of poor pitching and a lack of clutch hitting. Yankees had 13 hits. They win it 9-2. Give the Tigers their 103rd loss of the year. Today, the Tigers say goodbye to the painful season of 1989, and a victory would avoid tying a club record for losses in a season. It's the Tigers and Yankees live from Yankee Stadium. Tigers Baseball, brought to you by Busch Beer, the beer with a taste as smooth as its name. And presented by your Greater Michigan and Metro Detroit Ford dealers, where their commitment to quality makes them #1.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Bronx in New York. I'm George Kell along with Al Kaline. We're set and ready to go for the final telecast of the year, the final game of the year in a season that has not been too promising or bright for the Tigers.
No, it's been a very disappointing year, obviously, and I think we've probably beaten that to death. It's been a poor effort. Not effort so much, but it's been a poor year for the Detroit Tigers, and a lot of things went wrong. A lot of guesses, trades. Some players didn't pan out the way they expected. Some young kids did not perform the way they had hoped. So it's been a very disappointing year.
Well, it's going to be Frank Tanana pitching for the Tigers today. Frank's won 9, lost 14 this year. And Kevin Mamahat will be pitching for the Yankees. He's 0-1 on the season. A pretty good crowd here in the Bronx on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, and they're standing now as we honor them.
Here's the batting lineup for the Detroit Tigers. Leading off, Gary Pettis, center field. Batting second, Alan Trammell, shortstop. The third batter, second baseman, Lou Whitaker. Batting fourth, Gary Ward, first base. Batting fifth, right field, Chet Lemon. Batting sixth, Rich Shue, third base. The seventh batter, the catcher, Mike Heath. Batting eighth in right field, Ken Williams. And the ninth batter, the DH today, Doug Strange. Defensively, for the Yankees, Lawton, Barfield, Hall in the outfield. Blowers, Espinosa, Sachs, Mattingly, Dorsett, the catcher, and a young left-hander Tigers have not seen before, Kevin Mamahat. 0-1, he got racked in Fenway Park. They obviously like his arm. He's got great size, as you see there, 6'4", 220 pounds. Has not been very effective in the minor leagues. This year, though, in Albany, a Double-A ball club, he was 5-1. Was promoted to Triple-A, where he was 3-4 at Columbus. He was signed out of the Texas organization. So he's a big guy. They obviously like his arm.
And we're ready to go. Gary Pettis steps in to lead it off for the Tigers. Alan Trammell will follow, and then Lou Whitaker. The first pitch of the game, and a big swing and a miss by Gary Pettis. Got a surprisingly good crowd on hand on this Sunday afternoon, the final game of the season. And just a glorious Sunday in New York. It was great in Manhattan and even better up here in the Bronx as the day goes on.
Nothing like New York on the weekend.
No, it's great.
In my opinion.
Everybody's out of town, is that what you're saying?
Not so crowded downtown.
Yeah,
you can walk around a little bit.
That helps a lot. Everybody's out of town. But Friday about 4 o'clock, you want to be in your room.
Yes.
Just get out of the way. Let everybody get out of town. Here's the pitch to Pettis. That'll make it ball 2 and strike 2. Tigers trying to salvage the final game of this series and the final game of the season, of course. It's ball 3. Ball 3, strike 2 to the leadoff man. Alan Trammell will bat next. Kevin Mamahat is the way you pronounce that, they tell us. Bouncer to third. Knocked down by Blowers, and no call. Now he's safe. Well, we didn't get much of a call at first base. Let's watch it again now. I guess he thought everybody in the ballpark knows he's safe. And he was without any problem, but Mattingly looks back to see.
relatively easy play, easy ground ball. Ball took a pretty big hop to him, but hit it on the heel of the glove.
Will be scored as an error against Mike Blowers. Here's a strike to Alan Trammell. Tim McClellan is the umpire behind the plate today. Chuck Merriweather is at first base. Drew Coble at second, and Joe Brinkman is the umpire at third base. What's the old saying? Be careful of left-handers until you know what kind of move they have.
Well, it's pretty hard to hide anybody now with the scouting reports you get from other managers in your organization. So they pretty much know what to expect from this young man. Looks like he has a good fastball.
He's a big one. Big, tall, strong-built left-hander. One ball, one strike to Trammell. They keep Pettis close. He's worried, and they got him picked off. He was worried about his move. And they found out the young man has a good move.
Seen Gary do that quite often the last month of the season. He's guessing with the pitcher instead of just reacting to his move. He didn't anticipate Mamahat throwing over there on 3 different occasions. And it's an easy play. Mattingly steps out, throws on the inside part of the infield so he doesn't hit the base runner in the back.
Alan Trammell fouls it into the third deck here at the stadium, and the count's 1-2.
Well, Tram's been hitting the ball extremely well since coming back. His back's bothered him all year long pretty much, but the last month he has hit at a .338 clip, and certainly that's what the Tigers, maybe not .338, but hitting about the 300 mark.
Ball 2 and strike 2, and a fly ball into shallow right field. Who's going to catch it? Mel Hall says he'll put it away. Sachs went out, gave ground, and Mel Hall makes the catch. So Trammell is out, 2 outs, and the batter will be Lou Whitaker. Lou wanted so much to hit 30 home runs this year, and this is his last opportunity. He has 28. As you see, 84 runs batted in.
His batting average has suffered an awful lot the last couple of weeks because he's been trying to hit the home run, not getting the base hit, trying to get 30 home runs.
Well, we've never seen Mamahat before, but I'd say it's a very difficult chance here on the final day of the season against a tough left-hander. And he threw the first pitch right by Lou. He threw it very hard. 1 ball, 1 strike. That'll make it ball 2. Ball 2, strike 1. Mamahat gets ready, and the pitch to Whitaker is a ball. Ball 3. We gave you the umpires in the wrong rotation. That's Chuck Merriweather behind the plate today instead of Tim McClellan. And this one's inside. So Whitaker gets a walk. A 2-out walk to Lou, and the batter will be Gary Ward.
89 times this year Lou Whitaker has taken a base on balls, and that's a high for his career.
Gary Ward has 9 home runs and 30 runs batted in. Sparky gets his right-handed hitting lineup in today. Whitaker is the only left-handed batter. Of course, Pettis and Strange could turn around and bat left-handed, but everybody bats right-handed but Whitaker against the left-hander. Ball 2, no strikes. Ball 2, no strikes. Runner at first with 2 outs. There's no score in the first inning of this final game, as Mama Hot gets ready and he goes to first base, but Lou doesn't run much, and it'd be very difficult to pick off over there. A 2-0 pitch to Ward, and a ball hit the shortstop. Espinosa flips it on to Sachs. We go to the bottom of the first. No score.
Leading off, Steve Sachs at second base. The second batter, Alvaro Espinosa, shortstop. Third batter, Don Mattingly at first base. Fourth batter, the DH, Steve Balboni. Fifth batter in center field, Jesse Barfield. Batting sixth, the catcher, Brian Dorsett. Batting seventh, right field, Mel Hall. Eighth batter at third base, Mike Bowers. And batting ninth in left field, Marcus Lawton. Defensively, for the Tigers, Williams, Pettis, and Lemon in the outfield. Shue, Trammell, Whitaker, Ward, Heath behind the plate. And Frank Tanana on the mound for the Tigers. Frank 9-14. Certainly with the support that he's had this year, he could very well have been turned around 14-9. He has been one of the hard luck pitchers on the Tiger ball club this year. He's been shut out 4 times this season. There's his innings pitched, 217. He allowed 219 hits, walked 70, and a very impressive 144 strikeouts in 217 innings pitched. Frank, of course, not an overpowering pitcher as he once was when he's a young man, signed by the California Angels, but he's been one of the few pitchers who's been able to adjust and make another career for himself. Instead of throwing hard, throwing the ball by people, he can set them up now and still throw a pretty good fastball inside.
Steve Sachs will lead it off. Espinosa and Mattingly will follow in the first inning. Steve Sachs having a big year, a .315 batting average, 63 runs batted in. Boy, he's the epitome of what you expect when you sign a free agent. Now, he was a free agent with the Dodgers, couldn't get together. The Yankees signed him, gave him big money, and he produced. He plays every day and plays hard. That's what you expect.
And he's playing at a time when he doesn't have to play. Late in the season.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine a Yankee game without Sachs out there, though.
No, that's just the type of guy he is.
Well, he was in the batting race until the last 3 weeks of the season.
Hey, how about those batting races?
You got him there, haven't you?
We got a dead even race in the American League. Puckett and Langford batting .338 apiece. And the National League, I think it's only 1 point. Clark .334 over Gwynn, .333.
Boy, everything will be decided here on the final day of the season. Ball 2 and strike 2 to Sachs. They play this guy a little bit toward right field, even though Tanana doesn't throw hard. He handles the bat well, and he guides it about where he wants it to go, and they strike him out. Foul tipped it right into the mid of Mike Heath.
Talking to Frank in the lobby today before catching the bus. He said he was going to air it out today. Air it out means he's going to rear back and fire that baseball.
Well, he did, and he threw it by Steve Sachs, the fastball by him.
Alexander and myself sitting there, we both started laughing a little bit, but hey, this guy doesn't have to air it out anymore. He can set those hitters up with the best of them.
He knows exactly what he's going to do. I know that. This one's high. 1 ball, no strikes. Alvaro Espinosa, and what a pleasant surprise he's been to the ball club. They haven't had many surprises over here. Not many pleasant surprises like the Tigers this year, but this fellow's been a good one.
Say he's been the best shortstop, all-around shortstop, since Tony Kubek. Hitting, defensively, everything. Was batting over close to the .290 mark, but has slumped somewhat the last couple weeks.
Well, he's batting .279, which is very respectable, and here's a base hit. Not only respectable, but very good by Major League standards today.
Absolutely, and here's a guy that wasn't even thought of to be their shortstop. They were trying 3 or 4 other people. They had They got a few injuries. They said, hey, let's bring this guy up. Can he catch the ball? And Bucky Dent said, yeah, he's the best we got catching the ball. And George Steinbrenner, from what I understand, says, well, let's bring him up here then. And he's been the regular and doing a great job ever since.
Well, he's on with a base hit, and the batter is Don Mattingly, having another super year. Batting only .305. When you say only .305, this fella hits in the high 320s, 330s. But he has 23 home runs and 112 runs batted in. And I think he's second in the American League with runs batted in. Youngster in Texas, Ruben Sierra.
It's my choice for the MVP, but will not get it because he's not on a contending team.
I think he had 119 starting play today, or last night, starting play last night.
Mattingly, 23 home runs, did not have a home run the first month of the season.
This pitch is outside. Ball 2 and strike 1. Runner at first, 1 out, no score in the first inning. The 2-1 pitch. That'll make it 3-1. Well, let's see what he throws 3-1 to Mattingly. Do you challenge this left-hander with a fastball, or do you tease him a little bit with a slow curve? A couple of very professionals at it right here, the pitcher and the hitter, and we'll see what happens. A fastball, but it's low. Mattingly gets a walk. Yankees have him at first and second, 1 out. The batter will be Steve Balboni.
Been the one problem that Frank has had all year long, and it's unusual for him. He has allowed a lot of runs in the very first inning. He has almost an 8-point average, earned run average, in the first inning.
Well, he can get out of it if he can get this big guy to hit one on the ground at somebody, and they're deep on the infield. 1 ball, no strike. Bye Balboni. He was a tremendous minor league ball player. Came up with the Yankees. They expected great things of him, but I think this ballpark hurt him a lot.
Still having a good year home run wise and RBIs, because he doesn't play very much, plays mostly against left-handers, 16 home runs and 58 RBIs. So that's pretty good. He's done exactly what they hoped for. With Winfield out, they needed some right-handed power because they were seeing too much left-handers, and that was affecting certainly Mattingly and some of the other left-handed batters.
1 ball, 1 strike as Tanana gets ready. That'll make it 2-1. Well, Balboni has not been a disappointment in the major leagues. They traded him down to Kansas City. He had some big years down there. They did not sign him 3 or 4 years ago. Seattle did. He had a couple of big years for Seattle. They didn't sign him, and the Yankees did. So he's produced everywhere he's been. Had some good years in Seattle, a couple of years out there. And a fly ball to left. Not deep. Williams will catch it. Ken Williams started back for the fence. When this big guy hits one, I guess your first reaction is he's hit it real well, but he hit it on the end of the bat.
Exactly right. His first couple of steps were backwards. You see the big swing, and certainly your impression as an outfielder that this big guy is going to put it deep, and he hit it on the handle or on the end of the bat and had to come in. He can be fooled as he was on that pitch, but he's so strong that he still can generate enough power to hit it out of the park.
You can see that pitch up around the letters, and you say, why would you pitch him high? And that's exactly where they want to pitch Balboni. A very good low ball hitter. Jesse Barfield takes a strike. I don't think he liked the call too much on it.
Jesse hit a shot here last night to hit the sign in deep left center field, a 399 foot mark. It's the big ballpark in left center field.
2 on and 2 outs as Tanana delivers to Barfield. Evens the count at 1-1. The inning started when Sachs struck out. Espinosa got a base hit. Mattingly walked. Then Balboni flied to left field. Now the 1-1 pitch to Barfield. And a strike. He got the fastball right down the middle. Makes it 1-2.
Barfield unhappy in Toronto, not getting a chance to play regularly. He had slumped up there. They made the trade for him for the left-hander. I can't think of his name right now.
No.
But anyhow, he's playing on a regular basis, and he's done a good job here. But you have to expect from Barfield, he's going to strike out 115, 140 times a year.
He's got to have mixed emotions. He was unhappy in Toronto, but when he was watching yesterday, as he probably was, when they cinched the American League East, he had to be happy for his teammates, maybe a little sad that he wasn't there.
You make close, friendships. You're with a team for what, 6-7 months of the year. You make a lot of close ties, and that's one of the sad moments about really the last day of the season, because some of these people, your friends, you may not see anymore. They might be let go, traded away. You may never run into them again.
Yeah, it's already the New York papers are full of it. Some of the Mets are not going to be offered contracts for next year. Boston has told Jim Rice he will not be offered a contract. Kind of a sad moment, the final days of the season.
A lot of these people are going to find out what a great game this is once they have to go out and make a living on the outside.
Oh. Ball 3, strike 2. There go the runners, and it's a ball. Very close. He threw him a change-up curve on the 3-2 pitch, and Barfield walks. So the Yankees have the bases loaded, 2 outs, and the batter will be the catcher, Brian Dorsett.
Brian's getting a chance in this last month of the season to show what he can do, and so the Yankee management can see what they might need over the winter months, and he has responded so far, getting some big base hits, 389 in just a brief period of time as a starting catcher for the Yankees.
And he fouls it away. That was a super catch by that young man. I'm telling you, he picked it out with one hand in the crowd, and he's got a couple of his youngsters there with him.
Does Rex Barney say give that man a contract?
I would. Absolutely, even though it's the final day of the season.
Get him down to spring training.
Here's a bouncer toward shortstop. Over to second. At the end of 1, it's 0-0. We're going to pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network. We'll take a look back at Tiger Baseball in the 80s on Sports Final Edition. That's tonight at 11:30, only on Channel 4. Talking about saying goodbyes to everybody. You and I spent the last 30 minutes before we came to the booth saying goodbye to all of our friends in the Tiger Clubhouse. Alex Grammas, who lives in Birmingham, says, hey, I've got a brand new golf course. Come see me this winter and we'll play golf. And that sounded very inviting. And then Billy Muffett says, hey, partner, come see me and we'll go duck hunting. I've got the best duck hunting in the world. And I said, is that where you get up at 4:30 and it's raining and sleeting and cold? And he said, it sure is. And I said, I'll see you in Lakeland in the spring.
Absolutely.
I will not be in Louisiana to go duck hunting with Billy Muffett.
Muffett and Dick Tracewski, after a little rest, will go to Japan.
Yeah, that sounds very attractive.
Work with one of the teams over there in fundamentals and be a teacher of sorts.
Going to Osaka and going to stay 3 weeks in instructional baseball, I believe Billy told me before the game today.
One of the hardest working guys right there you've ever want to see, Dick Tracewski. And what a job he did filling in for Sparky Anderson early this year on tough circumstances, but Trixie's a great baseball man.
He's a pro. And they tell me he'll get some work in Japan, that they work at it. Here's Lemon, gets a walk. So the leadoff man is on. Chet Lemon walks to start the second inning. The batter will be Rick Shue, who's playing at third base today.
Number 35, Rick Shue, third base. Number 35.
Rick Shue, he's filled in as a designated hitter when he has not been playing third base against left-handed pitching. Boy, they almost picked Chet Lemon off. Now they should be well warned that Mama Hot has a good move to first base. They picked Pettis off in the first inning and almost got Lemon on the very first pitch. As Clint Courtney used to say when Bill White, do you remember Bill White?
Best move I've ever seen.
Best move. He says if he picks me off, it'll be between pats on the bag at first. I'm not leaving here. I might pat the bag a little bit with my foot. But
Lift his foot off the bag and put the other one on. He might
something like that, but I'm not moving. Of course, Courtney had no reason to move. He wasn't going anywhere anyway till somebody hit the ball. But until Du Bois came along, I've never seen a move like Bill White's. But Brian Du Bois,
pretty close.
Yes, sir.
For a young man, who hasn't had a long time to develop that move. Excellent move to first base, and that has to help a pitcher over a long period, a long season.
Well, it helps the catcher tremendously. The pitcher you were thinking about a moment ago traded for Barfield was Al Leiter. Did you give it?
No, I
was
did
doing
not.
Something else. And Leiter went on the disabled list over. He didn't pitch much, but I like that fella. I tell you, I think he's going to be an outstanding pitcher. This one's fouled away.
Well, I believe Jesse Barfield might be a free agent after this season.
Yes, he is.
The Yankees have to sign this man because they're really not sure whether Winfield's going to be able to come back. He had a serious back operation, and that could be a career-ending type operation. No one knows that for sure, so they certainly cannot let a guy like Barfield get away from here. But he may not want to play. I'm not sure.
Here's a drive into left field. This is a base hit, and it gets by all the way to the fence. Here comes Lemon, and they're going to hold him at third.
Well, this ball almost hit him in the foot. I don't know what he was doing in the outfield. He laid back on this ball. The ball obviously carried further than he thought. It almost hit him in the foot. He stops, he backs up, and the ball gets by him.
Well, the young man's name is Marcus Lawton. They brought him up from Columbus, and he didn't play it very well. As Al said, it looked like he could have caught the ball with a little more effort. Maybe didn't see it at first. They charge him with an error. They give a single to Rick Shue. An error charged to Lawton. The Tigers have him at second and third. Nobody out. The batter is Mike Heath. Mike with a big swing at it.
Iron Mike, and he was given an award back in Detroit, an Iron Man Award, named after the great Lou Gehrig, and he was completely shook up with the award. He said, I've never won anything in my life, and here they give me the Lou Gehrig Award in Detroit.
Well, tremendous, and he earned it.
He has played.
Very deserving young man.
He has played just about every day since Matt Noakes went down with a bad knee.
There's the breaking ball low. Ball 2 and strike 1. They are playing deep at second and shortstop. In at first and third. Not real close, but close enough to make a play at the plate. Bucky Dent is the manager of the ball club. Here's a base hit in the left. They're going to hold Shue at third base. Now he's coming home as Lawton dropped the ball. And in to score comes Shue, and they're going to give that young man a little going over out there.
Welcome to the Bronx. You're as good as your last fielding attempt, and you're as good as your last time at bat. But he has had some problems already. One of my pet peeves are these big baseball gloves. Now you see the base hit. Look how big this glove is. He has no feeling where that ball is in his glove. It's in the tip of his web, and he loses it, and there's another error.
So the Tigers lead it 2-0. Mike Heath went to second base, and here's a foul. Ooh, into the crowd. Boy, that one came back like a bullet. Ken Williams is the batter. Still nobody out here in the second inning. Couple of hits, a walk, and 2 errors. Here's the breaking ball.
Kenny has struggled all year long with the Tigers. He is just uncomfortable at the plate. He has a long swing. Look how far he keeps that bat back, and then he goes back even further.
There's a fly ball into right. Mel Hall coming in, and he'll pick it off. And Mike Heath has to hold at second base. So Kinney trying to go to right field to move the runner to third, hit a short fly ball, and Heath couldn't move up. That's the first out of the inning, and it'll bring up Doug Strange, who's the designated hitter today. The Yankees here in the first 2 innings have committed 3 errors as we look at Clay Parker in the Yankee bullpen. And the pitch to Strange is inside. Really not Mamahat's fault. The first base hit looked like it could have been caught. The second one would just barely roll through the infield, and here goes Heath to third base, and a wild throw, and here he comes to score.
Mike, you're having that kind of a year, fella. There's not too many guys on the Tigers who are having this type of a year. He makes the mistake, and he comes out smelling like a rose.
Where was he going?
Oh, I don't know.
Mike headed for third. They had him picked off easily, and Mamahat airmails it.
Look, Mike is anticipating that he's going to go home, and there he goes. Uh-oh, I am dead, and he throws it by the third baseman. Mike Ty Heath, now I'm going to call him when I see him in Lakeland, Florida.
And the Tigers lead it 3-0. That is the 4th Yankee error, and we have not completed the second inning. Not a very good way to close out the season with a big crowd on hand. Pitches outside to Doug Strange. Ball 2, strike 1. Doug batting right-handed against the left-hander. And a strike evens the count at 2-2. Been a very strange inning, to say the least. This one is in for a strike, and Doug Strange is called out by Chuck Merriweather. Looks like he was looking for something other than a fastball as he takes the fastball right down the middle.
Well, he hasn't shown that he can get anything else over the plate. He's thrown nothing but fastballs, and he must have thought the ball was low inside. He just stood there taking the ball.
Second out of the inning, and the batter will be Pettis, who was safe on an error in the first inning. Then he was picked off first base. 1 ball, no strikes. Yankees have announced that Bucky Dent will be back as the manager at the start of the season. Now, that's a strange announcement, but that's the way the paper read. Steinbrenner says, yes, Bucky Dent will start 1990 as the manager of the Yankees.
Do you expect anything more from George Steinbrenner?
No, but it's strange, isn't it,
Yes.
to get an announcement like that?
George Steinbrenner also said he's going to take a more active role.
Here's a drive into right center for a hit. A base hit for Pettis. He's got to be looking over his shoulder every day of the season when you make an announcement you'll start the season as the manager.
Gary Pettis ought to come out of the lineup right now, because right at this point in time he has his highest batting average ever in the major leagues.
Here's Trammell with a runner at first, 2 outs, and Pettis was picked off in the first inning. Stays a little closer on that pitch. Mattingly, the first baseman, as you can see there. Here's a strike to Trammell. Well, the Blue Jays won it in a very dramatic fashion yesterday against Baltimore. They came from behind Friday night and again yesterday, scoring 3 in the 8th inning yesterday. Here's a fly to center. Jesse Barfield backs up. He'll put it away. We go to the bottom of the second. The Tigers lead it 3-0. The Yankees in the second inning. Mel Hall will lead off. Mike Blowers bats second, and Marcus Lawton batting third. When we were talking about Bucky Dent receiving the news that he would start the season as the manager, I was going to mention, how would you like to read that? Here's a fly ball that's going to be foul and out of play. How would you like to read that when you've got Billy Martin scouting for this ball club, Lou Piniella is in the broadcast booth, and Clyde King in an advisory capacity? 3 guys waiting that have managed this ball club. And into our booth walks Lou Piniella. And did he ever look good?
Oh, the weight of managing off of his shoulders. He looks great.
He sure does. There's a fly ball into shallow left field that will be caught by Kenny Williams. Yeah, with the weight of managing off his shoulders, he looks good, but I'm going to tell you, it would take one telephone call to get him right back on somebody's bench.
Well, you think that, you know, you get it in your blood, and he had a chance, it looked like, to go to Toronto, and then George he stopped the whole deal. He wanted money and players, everything. And Lou said, no dice, I'll sit up in the TV booth and do the post-game show, I believe he does.
Yeah, pre- and post-game shows for MSG. Works with, here's a base hit into center field. Mike Flowers with a solid base hit. Bob Page, our good friend from Detroit, works on the telecast, the MSG telecast. That's the cable network here in New York, and he was here a moment ago. Wanted to say hello to all of his friends back in Detroit, and especially to Ron Cameron. So a one-out single by Blowers, and the batter will be Marcus Lawton, the left fielder. And a pitch inside to Marcus. Tigers 3, Yankees nothing. We're in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Ground ball towards shortstop, out at 2nd and out at 1st. They turn the double play, and at the end of 2, the Tigers lead at 3-0.
Well, the Yankees make a pitching change very quickly. Clay Parker is the new pitcher for the Yankees. This year, his record you see there, 4-5, 3.72 earned run average, no saves. He was traded along with Lee Guterman from the Seattle Mariner organization in 1988. Spent Columbus 2-2 with the Columbus Ball Club in 1988. You see his record: 116 innings, 121 hits, 29 walks, and 53 strikeouts. A not overpowering pitcher. He's around the plate. So Bucky Dent, the manager, makes a pitching change.
And the fellow that likes it most of all, Lou Whitaker, will be at the plate. He won't have to face the wild left-hander, Mamahat. He'll be facing a right-hander, Clay Parker. So it'll be Whitaker, Ward, and Lemon for the Tigers in the 3rd inning. Just a reminder that coming up later will be our Bud Batter's Box home run inning. If your name has been selected and a Tiger hits a home run, you're going to win $100 and a share of a $10,000 bonus. So stay tuned. You could be a winner. We've had only 3 winners all year. If we don't have one today, they're going to share $10,000.
I know 3 people that are
pulling against whoever it is today. Here's a drive into right field. This is a base hit for Whitaker, so he wastes no time. With the right-hander on the mound, he drills it into right field.
And probably disappointed he only got a base hit.
Yeah, he'd like to hit 30, but he's been stuck on 28 for a long time. Here's Gary Ward, who bounced out in the 1st inning. Clay Parker delivers to Ward, and it's low. Toronto is leading Baltimore 2-0 in a meaningless ball game, but not to the people up there. They've drawn 3,300,000 plus in Toronto, and another sold-out stadium today. And they didn't start play there until about June 8th.
Right,
so,
we're the 2nd team in.
Hey, they might draw 4 million some year.
If it's possible. I mean,
if it's possible.
If you sell out every day, I don't know whether that you can even get to 4 million.
Here's the pitch. This one's fouled away. Well, they can draw. They can put in there 49,550. That's about it. 81 home dates, and put that to the computer, and our AD here in the booth is doing just that right now, and he's going to come up with about 4,136,000. I'm going to guess that. We'll see what he comes up with.
You always had a mind with numbers.
Yeah, 2 and 2, 3 and 3. 4,135,000. Are you kidding me? I said 4,136,000. No, you got it wrong.
That computer's wrong. That computer he has in his hand is wrong.
I missed it 1,000 people. Oh goodness. 4,013,000. Here's a base hit in the right on the hit and run play, and Whitaker cruises into third. Tigers put the hit and run on. Gary Ward slammed it through the second base slot, vacated by Steve Sachs. And the Tigers have them at first and third.
Isn't it amazing when you get a lead what you can do if you're the manager on the leading ball club? You can do a lot of different things. Run the base runner. You don't have to sit back and wait for somebody to hit home runs.
Did you hear this guy before the game today? This guy right here, Sparky Anderson. Bernie says you're going to get your handicap down to a 1, and he says I'm trying to get it down to a 16.
And he'll never do it, not this winter. He's got a lot more practice to go to get it down to a 16.
There's a chopper towards second. That's going to be a double play ball. No, he throws it away. He had the runner at second, and an easy play at first, and Sachs made a high throw. So Lemon is safe at first, and he gets a run batted in as Whitaker comes in to score.
High chopper, excellent play. Look at the short hop. He's able to touch the bag, and he throws off balance.
So Whitaker scores. The Tigers lead it 4-0. The batter is Rick Shue, who had a base hit his first time up. I saw you peeping around the corner when Sparky called me into the office today. He told me you had a couple of suits for me at the end of the season. I guess is today the end of the season? Or is it the end of the year? Or when is it?
Well, I want to keep you always waiting for that mailman to come.
Okay, okay. It's in the mail. Well, Sparky told me.
It's in the mail.
He says, I gave Jim Campbell 2 suits, and Al's going to give you 2.
I want you to clarify that gave.
There's a drive to left right at Lawton, and he'll get a big round of applause. Well, the young man says, hey, I've seen days like this. Now what happened?
Threw the ball wild over somebody's head, and it went in the dugout. And
all the way to third goes Lemon.
Third.
Now Bucky Dent's coming out. Let's see where Lawton throws this ball. He just lobs it back in, and no, it's the second baseman Sachs who throws it in the dirt.
And it hit. I saw what had happened. It hit Shue. It hit Rick Shue. He had his head down, running to the dugout. The ball was thrown by the shortstop Espinoza, and it hit Rick Shue and carried him into the Yankee dugout.
So Bucky Dent files his protest.
Well, you can't do it unless it's an intent to interfere with the ball. He had his head down.
Yeah, he didn't kick at it or anything.
Who was it, Reggie Jackson in the World Series that purposely got
here in Yankee Stadium
thrown by either shortstop or second baseman?
Yes, sir. In a very crucial play, and they called him out.
Here's the play. Now this is the relay from the shortstop. There's Shue running to the dugout. He had rounded first base. Disappointed that he hit the ball hard right at the left fielder.
And Tommy Brookins.
Nice going, Tommy. All right, Tommy.
Oh, hey, a con man, Tommy Brookins. He says it didn't get in the dugout. He flips it to the catcher. Now, what else is going to happen on this last day of the season?
I'm telling you, it's got to be another error. It is another error.
Well, it's got to be.
It's just like an outfielder hitting the base runner.
Well, sure is. That is 5 errors today, and Lemon is at third base, and Heath bounces it to short, and another run will score. So Lemon comes in to score on the bounce out to shortstop. Tigers now lead at 5-0. The batter will be Ken Williams. No, that's the third out of the inning. They come off the field. I'm not as bad as the Yankees at the moment. We go to the bottom of the third. It's 4-0 Detroit. Leads it off with a solid base hit up the middle. Steve Sax struck out his first time at bat, and he lines this one right back through the box into center field. So the leadoff man is on, and the batter will be Espinosa. Well, the Yankees still have 5 errors, but you got to chalk me up one now, so we've had 6 errors on the day. As you get caught up in the type of game it is on this Sunday afternoon in the Bronx. Chuck Wozniak says the excitement got to me on the final day of the season. There's Espinosa. He had a base hit his first time up. And fair ball into the corner. Going to be a ground rule double. A fan reached out, got his hand on it. And a ground rule double for Espinosa. The Yankees will have him at second and third with nobody out. Espinosa, who had been in a slump before the Tigers pitching staff got here, lines it sharply down the line, and you saw there the fan reaching over, which they will do here at Yankee Stadium. Touches the ball, so it's a ground rule double. And the batter is Mattingly, who walked in the first inning. There's a strike. Tigers 4, Yankees nothing. Bottom of the third. Guy batting .342 against left-handers, only .282 against right-handers. They don't bother him. He stays right in there as well as any left-handed hitter. And the pitch is outside. One ball, one strike to Don Mattingly with 2 on, nobody out. Everybody deep and toward right field for Mattingly. He blocks the pitch. Steve Sax, ever aggressive, moved up the line quickly. Had the ball gotten a little farther away, he'd have been coming on. Ball 2, strike 1. Frank Tanana gets ready, and a ball hit to first base. We'll get a run in. Mattingly is out on the play by Gary Ward, and on to third goes Espinosa. 4-1, the Tigers lead it, and the batter will be Balboni. Or when you see a professional up there like Mattingly, he is determined. He's going to pull the ball in that spot because he gets a run in with a ground ball. He gets a runner to third and gives Balboni a chance to pick up an easy run. And the pitch is high. You'd almost have to put a gun on Mattingly to make him hit the ball to left field in a spot like that. Balboni leads the Yankees with 12 home runs off left-handers, as you might expect, 12 of his 16. He doesn't see that many right-handers. You saw where those first 2 pitches were, high in the strike zone. That's where they try to pitch it. Williams coming in. He's going to catch it, and the throw to the plate is a good throw, and out. He dropped it. Oh, he had him out, and he dropped it. Now the argument is he had it long enough, and Merriweather says not long enough for me.
First base umpire is shaking his head no.
I don't know what happened. Heath tagged him out, and it looked like had control of it, and then all of a sudden, no, it's on the ground.
Mike was maybe trying to take the ball out of his glove. This is an excellent play. We don't want to let this slide by Kenny Williams. A perfect throw. And here's the tag. There's no question he's out. I mean, that's not the argument. Good way to bust your hands up. And we could not tell. And he had his knee locked on Mike's foot here. Take a look at it again. Right there, he has his leg locked, and Mike is trying to step and throw the ball to the infielders, and the ball dropped out of his glove.
Mike Heath might be out of the ball game. Sparky had already gone back to the bench. It erupted again, and no, I think he's still in there. But Joe Brinkman was on the verge of putting him out, and Sparky raced out and established some kind of peace, but Mike's not happy at all.
Well, Mike made a good play. He had no reason in the world to be worrying about getting the ball to the infielders, or because there's nobody on base. It's an unusual play. He thought he had the ball long enough.
Well, there's got to be an error on the play. He was called out, and I would imagine Heath will be charged with an error. Nothing's gone up on the scoreboard, but you would think there'd be an error. Merriweather had waved him out. But it's 4-2. Tigers lead the Yankees, and the batter is Jesse Barfield. Now they put the big E up. Error charged against Mike Heath. And as Al pointed out to you, don't overlook the play made by Williams, who made a good catch and a perfect throw to the plate. And he had him in plenty of time. 2 outs, nobody on. And the 2-1 pitch coming up to Barfield. We'll make it 3-1. Well, there's going to be some big name free agents at the end of the year if they choose to go free agency. Here's a walk. Cleveland has 2 big names, Joe Carter and Pete O'Brien, among others over there. And I don't remember, Al, when so many superstars really have been not offered a contract. If it's true, Jim Rice, Hernandez, Gary Carter here in New York. Genuine superstars coming to the end of the rope, so it appears.
Well, it happens to everybody. It gets to the point where the team loses. Age is involved. Certainly contract money is involved. These guys making $2 million a year, which just about every one of the people you named, particularly the ones with the Mets and Jim Rice.
Good play by Tanana. He picked it off and throws him out at the end of 3. The Tigers lead it 4-2.
Tigers Baseball is brought to you by Metro Detroit's Quality Ford dealers, where their commitment to quality and good service makes them Detroit's best team. By Kroger, where you should look for the scissors, your symbol of saving. By Taco Bell, where your money always takes you farther. And by General Tire. Get on your Generals and go.
Well, Sparky is at third base right now with umpire Joe Brinkman, and still explaining exactly what happened, as Al Kaline told you a moment ago. Heath's foot got caught, and he was stumbling away when he dropped the ball, and Sparky's obvious argument is that should not constitute a drop ball.
Well, it's very similar to a second baseman or a shortstop who is trying to make a double play. He reaches for the throw ball, and reaching out of his glove, the ball drops out. The tag was clearly made at home plate. And was Mike Heath taking the ball out of his glove when the ball popped out? We really couldn't tell, but it was clearly an easy tag, and he was out by a lot from a great throw by Williams.
And Kenny Williams will lead it off with a fly ball into deep left field. Lawton back, way back, and he's going to catch it. Boy, he was having some trouble with the sun out there, and this is a terrible sun field here in New York.
Maybe the worst right now this time of year. Of course, it's been documented many times in the World Series. The outfielders having trouble playing here at Yankee Stadium, and he was surprised he caught the ball. The way he handled it, I don't know why he didn't have his glasses down.
So 1 pitch and 1 out, and the batter is Doug Strange, who will bat left-handed. Or you go back to the World Series of 1950. The Yankees beat the Phillies 4 games in a row. In the 4th game of the World Series, Yankees had already won 3 straight. They were leading something like 5-0, 6-1. And Gene Woodling misplayed a ball in left field in the 7th inning, let a couple of runs in. Stengel went out to take the pitcher out and bring in his ace, Allie Reynolds, and he threw his hand up at Woodling as if to say, if you'd catch the ball, I wouldn't have to do this. And they said at the end of the game they should have been celebrating the World Series, and Stengel and Woodling are about to go at it. Because Gene Woodling was a very fiery type ball player anyway.
It really is.
He probably told Stengel, do you ever play left field out here in the fall?
Well, no, Stengel never played too much of anything.
Pitches outside. Well, he was in the National League, so I doubt he played left field in New York, except they played in the World Series, I think, one time against each other when he was with the Giants. A pitch to Strange. That's a strike. We'll make it 3-2. Doug has had some pretty good pitches to hit today, and he's watched them sail by.
Doug, you can't cover the whole plate. You have to either be handle the inside pitch or the outside pitch. Can't handle the whole plate.
And he fouls this one away.
Not too many hitters have ever been able to handle all the pitches.
Ball 3, strike 2. 1 out here in the 4th inning. And the pitcher is Clay Parker. And he pops it up. Shallow left field for Lawton. You ever notice when a guy's having a bad day? I've noticed it at third when I was having a bad day. That ball will find you.
It finds you somehow. It has a chance to find you.
Everything is hitting your direction. 3 of the last 4 batters have hit fly balls to left field after Marcus Lawton had made 2 errors.
And it's funny, if you're not a good fielder, that ball tends to find you anyhow.
Oh, I know it. Here's Gary Pettis, who's had a single today in 2 trips. He was safe on an error in the 1st inning. Pitch is high, 1 ball, no strikes. Tigers 4, Yankees 2. We're in the 4th inning. Yankees have made 5 errors in this game. Tigers have made 1. Here's a strike. Gary Pettis batting at .259, 1 home run and 18 runs batted in.
His best average ever was .258 for California's rookie year.
And a big swing and a breaking ball. Makes it 1-2. Gary Pettis has stolen 43 bases this year. As Clay Parker gets ready for the 1-2 pitch, and a fly ball into deep center. Way back goes Barfield, but there's a lot of room out there. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 4-2. Tigers lead it. Al Hall is the leadoff man for the Yankees, and the pitch is low. That makes it ball 2. Ball 2, no strikes. Al Hall, Mike Blowers, and Marcus Lawton will be the Yankee batters in the 4th inning.
Mel had a big night against Jack Morris. 2 home runs.
And 2 singles.
And 4 hits. First time this year he had 4 hits in 1 game. This is a good ballpark for left-handed batters. Only .314 down the right field line.
It's ball 2 and strike 1. And the pitch is in for a strike. Evens the count at 2-2.
Mel Hall, an extremely good hitter against right-handed pitching. He's had problems against left-handers.
Frank Tanana gets ready, and the pitch is bounced over the head of Tanana. Whitaker off balance, throws him out. That's the same play that Sachs had a moment ago, but not many people throw like Whitaker.
Great throwing arm, and
Mike Lowell.
we've been watching this from short and second base, what, 12 straight years now. Going away from first base, he probably does this better than anybody in either league right now. Throwing the ball, running toward shortstop.
Big swing by Blowers, who had a base hit in the second inning. Mike Blowers, one of the many youngsters the Yankees have brought up here at the close of the season. And they're looking for a third baseman. He got a couple of fine years out of Paliarulo, and then he just seemed to deteriorate. He went down fast.
Yeah, they had an all-flop team in newspaper here and an all-surprise team, and Pagliarulo was one of the guys they mentioned. He has flopped. He has not done well, even going to San Diego.
Boy, one time I thought he was going to be a dandy.
Oh, he's still young yet, and certainly you can't give up on a guy who can catch the ball and throw it the way he does.
A swing and a miss by Blowers. He strikes out. Second out of the inning. The batter will be Marcus Lawton.
This is what Frank Tanana told me today. He was going to air it out. Reaches back and throws it by this young man. It's probably the first time he's faced Frank Tanana, and everybody says, well, look for all the junk he throws, and Frank can reach back and get it up there once in a while. He's kidding me about my mistake I made about his age a couple of broadcasts ago.
There's a check swing pop-up, and Tanana's calling for it. Let's see what happens. Whoa! Gary Ward almost ran over him, but he stopped at the last moment. Tanana was calling from the moment it went up in the air. We go to the fifth inning, 4-2 Tigers. Tigers in the fifth inning, Trammell, Whitaker, and Gary Ward. And the pitch is inside to Trammell. He's 0 for 2. Couple of fly balls. Clay Parker gets ready, and the pitch to Allen is hit hard.
Oh! Shot.
Well, it hit that man on the arm, and I hope that's his son that got the ball. It does look like his son, doesn't it? He says, hey, Dad, you need my glove.
Anything for your son. I was just trying to knock it down for you.
Yeah, he sure was.
Yeah, he's trying to get out of the way.
Ball 2, strike 1. What are you going to do with Nolan Ryan?
I'm going to put a bronze outside the Hall of Fame, and when he gets out, they'll move that bronze statue right into the Hall of Fame.
I'm telling you.
Is he amazing?
He pitched 7 1/3 innings last night, a perfect baseball. He won the game 2-0, a 3-hitter, struck out 13, which increased his league leading total to 301. And I get the feeling if he'd have needed another 1 or 2 to get 300, he'd have had 15. He does exactly what he has to do.
They ought to make a statue of him right now.
How old is he? 42?
42 years old. Throwing the ball as well as he did when he was 20 years old. Hey, another historic day on this day, George.
What was
Roger Maris' 61st home run against Tracy Stoller.
On this day.
On this day.
1961?
At the old Yankee Stadium, 61.
61st home run in 1961. The late, great Roger Maris. Here's Whitaker with a runner at first base and nobody out. And a bouncer to Mattingly. They might get 2 here. And they do. Mattingly had a little bit of trouble getting it out of his glove. Otherwise, it would not have been close. And it was so close that Whitaker didn't believe it.
Yeah, you see there he had a little hard time getting the ball, handling the ball, and the throw. Lou thought he was safe. Of course, you know Lou will never say anything to an umpire.
I believe he's safe too. Let's take another look at this. I think he is safe. I don't know.
It's tough. Last game of the season.
He's out. I guarantee you he's out.
Everybody has a plane to catch.
Tim McClellan said he was out, and that's what counts. Bergman's going to bat for Gary Ward. Dave Bergman. Tigers 4, Yankees 2. We're in the 5th inning in Yankee Stadium on just a beautiful sun-swept Sunday afternoon.
Bergman has established career highs in games, at-bats, hits, base-on balls, and strikeouts. And this is after being told in spring training that he's not going to play very much by Sparky Anderson. As in Torey Lovullo and, of course, Keith Moreland.
He's been a good ball player, very good ball player in a very disappointing season for the Tigers. Dave Bergman. And here's the 1-1 pitch. This one foul back. And the highest batting average on the ball club. He's batting at .268. 7 home runs and 37 runs batted in.
Boy, it's hard to believe at .268 leads the whole ball club. I think that's what you call having bad years.
Yeah,
by some people.
Yeah. Ball 2 and strike 2. They're trying to play in Atlanta. The Dodgers in Atlanta. They rained out yesterday. They have a doubleheader today. And it's raining. Still raining in Atlanta.
It's always fun, a doubleheader last day of the season when the games mean nothing.
And it's delayed by rain.
Whew.
They might not wait too long because they're not going to have too many people in Atlanta today.
I think that might even be worse than a night game Sunday in Texas.
The last day of the season, they wouldn't do it. They absolutely would not do that. They have played an inning or so in Atlanta, but it's raining. Game's in a delay. They're trying to play 2, and the Dodgers will fly back to the coast after the doubleheader.
Another one of our friends, George, Yogi Berra, is calling it quits after so many years. He's taken the uniform off finally.
How many years? I saw it in the paper.
I think since '46 he's had the uniform on.
There's a walk to Bergman. Well, Dave Bergman is on with a 2-out walk, and the batter will be Chet Lemon. Chet Lemon today has walked, scored a run, safe on a fielder's choice play back in the 3rd inning. And he takes it high. Mamahat, Kevin Mamahat, started the game for the Yankees. Clay Parker came on in the 3rd inning. And the pitch is high. Ball 2, no strikes. Chet Lemon is batting at .238. He batted .264 in 1988, and that's indicative of what's happened to a lot of the Tiger players. This one inside. Ball 3.
And this is the first time that I can remember that Chet Lemon, throughout the course of a season, didn't get hot for a period of maybe a week and 10 days and hit a lot of home runs and driving runs, but it never has happened for him this year.
If Clay Parker should walk Lemon, that'll be his 3rd walk this inning. And he delivers a strike. He walked Trammell to start the inning. Whitaker bounced into a double play. Then he walked Bergman. This fellow normally has good control. Now it's 3-1 to Chester. The pitch coming up is foul back. Ball 3, strike 2. Well, they'll open the league championship playoff series in Oakland on Tuesday night. The Blue Jays and the A's. And any comments on that? Any thoughts maybe?
Well, I picked Toronto to win the American League East, but I think Oakland will win American League. But who can tell? You know, you go into playoffs. Believe me, the playoffs are a lot tougher than the World Series.
Yeah.
More pressure on you in the playoffs than the World Series. Only 2 teams get into the World Series. Well, you battle all year to get in the playoffs, and maybe a lesser team can pop up and beat you. So a lot of pressure on the players.
Pitching means so much in a short series, and we'll find out starting on Tuesday night. There's a bouncer to third, and the long throw by Blowers. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's 4-2 Detroit. Steve Sachs to lead it off for the Yankees, and he takes a strike. Steve's 1 for 2, struck out, then he singled, scored a run his last time up. "4-2, the Tigers lead it in the 5th inning. And a pitch inside makes it 1-1. Well, we discussed the American League playoffs. The Cubs open at home against the Giants in what should be a good National League playoff series. Here's a pop fly. Let's see who's going to catch it. Whoa, let's have nobody run together out here. Whitaker gets out of the way just in time. And we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network. Bernie Smilovitz brings you the top sports highlights of the day on Bernie's Best. That's every weekday only on News 4 at 5. Talking about the National League, the Cubs probably are the sentimental favorites across the country.
I'm going with the Giants only because of experience.
There's a base hit up the middle. Espinosa gets his 3rd straight hit off Tanana.
This fella just lays the bat on the ball. He doesn't swing hard. He tries to hit the ball down hard on the ground and hit it where it's pitched.
Well, if our predictions hold up, we'll have an all California World Series in the Bay Area. The Giants and the A's. Morning papers here predicting winners said the A's probably had the best club in all of baseball. And a lot of people felt very strongly toward the Giants. So we'll see what happens. Pitches low to Mattingly. He's had a walk and a bounce out in this game. One ball, 1 strike to the Yankee first baseman. This one's high ball 2. The hits are even at 5 apiece. Tigers lead at 4-2 as we look at the runs batted in. Sierra 119, Mattingly 113, and Osaski having a big year, 108. Fly ball deep right, but not deep enough. Lemon's going to catch it, and Mattingly's out. I think he got that one on the handle of the bat, and he still hit it a long way.
Yeah, he knew he didn't get it. He tossed his bat away in disgust. Well, this guy is one of the great ones, and year after year he keeps putting great numbers. You see there, he knew he didn't get it all. As a hitter, you know when you really tattoo the ball hard.
That's the 2nd out of the inning, and it'll bring up Balboni. Steve Balboni has flied twice to left field. Here's the breaking ball for a strike. One strike to Steve Balboni. Well, this big fella can tie it up with 1 swing of the bat. It's it foul down the left field line.
Balboni at one time had back problems, and that's why he got in all kind of trouble with Kansas City. They didn't want to re-sign him because they were afraid that his back was not going to hold up.
Then he went to Seattle. Had 2 big years out there. They didn't sign him. Then the Yankees did. And he's done exactly what they asked him to do. Did he swing at it? He did, says Chuck Merriweather, and he's out on strikes at the end of 5. The Tigers lead it 4-2. Here come the Tigers in the 6th inning. They lead 4-2, and we're going to look at that last swing that Balboni takes, and he does. Merriweather called it without any help from the first base umpire. Normally they appeal to first base. They're just posting the results of the vote for the all-time Yankee team, and as great as Don Mattingly is, and as many good years as he's had, Lou Gehrig got 76% of the vote, and Mattingly coming in a very distant second. Boy, that's the problem you have when you battle a legend like that.
Well, they had Mickey Mantle and Joe DiMaggio over Babe Ruth.
Yeah, Mantle first, DiMaggio second, and Babe Ruth third.
Well, you have to figure out, you know who's voting. It's the young kids who remember Mickey Mantle, and it's probably the way it should be, but certainly no one deserves to be in a lineup than be number one than Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig.
Yeah. Yeah, they remembered Gehrig. Why not Ruth?
Yep.
This is Rick Shue.
It's like mine. I'm going back a few years ago when they voted the all-time Tiger team. They voted me ahead of Ty Cobb. That's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
Maybe not. You see Louise and the two boys, and
Yeah, they kept sending in those.
You could start out with a pretty good basis there.
Yeah. Her hands are still hurting her for writing in.
The 2-1 pitch to Rick Shue. It's inside, ball 3. Rick Shue today has had a hit and a fly ball to left. So he's 1 for 2. Scored a run in the 2nd inning. Clay Parker delivers right down the middle. Ball 3, strike 2. The Red Sox a winner today. That one's over at Fenway Park. They beat Milwaukee 5-1, and the Red Sox will finish 3rd. That's what they were trying to do once 1st and 2nd was eliminated. They were trying to finish 3rd, and they do.
There's still money involved in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
1st, 2nd, and 3rd. That's right.
Doesn't mean a lot to a lot of the players on the Red Sox, but I'm sure there's a few rookies that could use that extra money.
Bouncer towards Sachs. Rick Shue is out, 2nd to 1st. So there's 1 out in the 6th inning, and the batter will be Mike Heath. Well, we'd like to take a moment here to thank a few people that were so helpful in bringing you Tiger baseball this year. James Petrelka, our graphics coordinator. He's the only person I know that had a relative in every city.
Unbelievable. We had more aunts, uncles, and cousins than anybody ever seen.
I said hello to everybody for James. Didn't get one today. Here's a bunt, and he's going to be out. Not a bad bunt, but he didn't get it far enough out in front of the plate, and Mike Heath is out. Mike Andro and Tom Guida, who keep things running smoothly back in Detroit, and they have to put up with Bernie Smilovitz back there. That's a full-time job. How about Chuck Waslick, our producer and our director? Also, he's our tour guide and chaperone during the season. We call on him a lot for everything. Ken Williams is the batter. Laura Hamis, who arranges our travel, and most importantly, probably, she processes our expense accounts. Not too much argument from Miss Laura. There's a bouncer to 3rd, and the long throw across in time to get Williams. It's still 4-2 Detroit.
Tigers baseball, brought to you by Ballpark Franks. They plump when you cook them. By your local Pepsi-Cola bottlers, a generation ahead. By Highland Superstores. Nobody gives you more, and nobody, but nobody, sells for less. And by GE Automotive. If you're a car maker or supplier, put their minds to work.
Here come the Yankees. Jesse Barfield, the leadoff man. Brian Dorsett and Mel Hall will follow. There's the monuments in deep left center field, and I mean it's a long way out there. That's Babe Ruth and many more. Lou Gehrig, Herb Pennock, just to name a few.
Mickey and Joe and
Bill Dickey, Billy Martin.
that's right. Is that the most times taken and putting on the Yankee uniform? Is that the reason he's in it?
I don't know, but he's there. I went out there one day, took some photos for Bill Dickey, and Bill didn't get a chance to see his, and he's ill in Little Rock, Arkansas, and he asked me, and I took some pictures and sent them to him. Hey, we want to thank Sparky too, and all of our thanks for being such a good sport on our pregame shows when things weren't going well. He was there and he responded in a big way every day. Our thanks to Sparky. Also our thanks to Alan Frank. You know, he picks up your check and he's still a big fan of the Tigers. That means a whole lot too. And our technical crews here and in Detroit, everywhere around the league, and I've probably missed a lot of people, but just those that come to mind right now. Our thanks. We can sit here in the booth and it's very easy for us to do the job as long as somebody else is performing, and they perform very well. Ball 2 and strike 2 to Jesse Barfield. Ooh, very close. 3-2. Our next telecast will be from Joker Marchant Stadium in Lakeland, Florida in March. Tanana thought he had him, and it did look like a good pitch.
Especially coming from the side, Mike Heath might have caught the ball a shade inside, but because he delivered sidearm, looked like it caught the inside corner.
Well, he'll get him this time. Alan Trammell will put it away. So Jesse Barfield is out. 1 out in the 6th inning, and the batter will be Dorsett.
The catcher, Brian Dorsett.
Brian Dorsett today has bounced out to shortstop and to the first baseman. And to the mound. Tossed out by the pitcher Tanana. 4-2 Tigers lead it, 6th inning. Right down the middle. This is only his 5th start for the Yankees, and he's batting over 400. Ooh, he just did get out of the way. One ball, 1 strike. Tanana gets ready, and the 1-1 pitch is hit on the ground to Whitaker. So Dorsett is out, 2nd out of the inning. And the batter will be Mel Hall.
Right fielder, Mel Hall.
You watching Lou Cornell last night after the game?
Yes.
By any sense?
Yes.
He brought up that the Yankees were going to be watching Frank Tanana very closely
Today.
today.
Yeah.
Possibility of signing him.
Yeah, I heard him say that.
That's a surprise. Not so much that a lot of teams would like to have Frank Tanana, I would think, but I would think that would be tampering.
Well, it happened on a St. Louis broadcast when Mike Shannon and Jack Buck mentioned that the left-hander Langston from Montreal was a free agent. The Cardinals would be interested in signing him, and Montreal protested, said that's tampering. Here's a base hit down the line and left. Going to be a single for Mel Hall. Ken Williams was playing around that way, and he gets it back in quickly.
He just swings late on this fastball. Shue was playing him in the hole at shortstop.
So a 2-out single by Hall, and the batter will be Mike Blowers. Pitches a strike to Mike, who's had a base hit. He singled in the 2nd inning, struck out in the 4th. Tanana gets ready, and the pitch is low. Gets the breaking ball over the plate, but low. Makes it 1-1. Well, it's got to be about what, 70, 72, 3 degrees. Just a delightful day here in New York. Beginning to cloud up a little bit. The weatherman says rain late tonight. It's been a great weekend here in New York.
Who's your prediction for manager of the year in the American League?
Well, Frank Robinson would have to stand very tall in the saddle.
He's my pick. I pick Don Zimmer in the National League.
Yeah, I like your pick. I'll go along with you. Frank Robinson took a ball club that lost over 100 games and brought them to the final 3 days of the season with a chance to win it all. He didn't, but boy, you can't overlook the job he did. And I've never been a great fan of Frank Robinson's as a manager. I didn't think he was a good manager before, but I do now.
Yeah, well, he's been able to keep himself under control. He got in a lot of trouble because he was always so outspoken, and he made his other players mad at him. But he's been very calm throughout the whole season, except the one time with the umpires.
Yeah. Here's a foul tip. Mel Hall was on his way.
And we're talking about Frank at one time threatened he was going to quit because he thought the umpires were not giving the Orioles a call, and he thought it was because they didn't like him personally. How about the Cy Young? That's no question in the American League.
Not in my mind, but I tell you, I've been reading the New York papers, and they live in another world up here.
Saberhagen, in my opinion, has got it locked.
That's what I say. Hey, here's a walk to Blowers. We'll put him at first and second. I vote for Saberhagen, but 2 New York papers gave it to Dave Stewart with hands down, no questions asked. I don't see that.
Because he owed it from a year ago or something?
Well, they said he's won more games in the last 3 years than any pitcher in baseball.
We're not talking 3 years. We're talking this year.
Oh, 3 straight 20-year seasons.
I'm not saying that he didn't deserve it a couple years ago or a year ago,
but not today.
Not this year.
We'll find out. I'll give you one tougher than that. The most valuable player in the American League.
Well, I went out on a limb. You never go out on a limb. I picked Ruben Sierra, but he's not going to win it because he did not with a contending ball club. But
he's got a chance. He's going to be 1, 2, 3 in the voting. He's got a chance. This one's fouled away.
They're pushing George Bell now. I don't know. I don't think his numbers are all that impressive, and he's not a good outfielder. And he's been DHing a lot, so I don't know how you can give it to a guy who has been a DH, the most valuable player. In my opinion, I think you have to give it to an everyday player who has great numbers.
Nobody's really posted those kind of numbers with the exception of Sierra. Oakland Ball Club walked off with it out there, and they don't have anybody with those kind of figures.
Absolutely. There's nobody on the contending the teams that are in the finals having that big a year. Cal Ripken Jr., of course, you have to consider he played every day.
There's a bouncer. Great play by Shue, and he's not going to get anybody, but he saved a run.
He sure did. I tell you what, that could have been a tough play for everybody. That ball gets by him, and you know what could happen, that ball going down the left field line. Saved 1, possibly 2 runs.
Take another look at it now. This is an outstanding play by Rick Shue. Now here we get a good look at it. Well, the bases are loaded. 2 outs, and the batter is Steve Sax. All this started after Tanana retired the first 2 batters this inning without any problems at all. 1 strike to Sax.
Sax, pretty good RBI man, 63 in the leadoff spot. That's pretty good.
And the 1 strike pitch. Steve Sax struck out in the first inning, singled in the third, and flied to right field in the 5th inning.
Mike Henneman up throwing in the bullpen for Detroit.
Sachs, a good contact hitter. He's ball hit his bat. I tell you, it hit his bat twice.
Now the second base umpire called it. Nobody else called it.
Isn't that something? There's 4 umpires out there and nobody called it but Drew Coble at second base. Steve Sachs knew it hit his bat twice, but he's a smart ball player and he takes off running. Watch it now.
It hits his shoulder.
All right. He knew it was a base hit, and that's why he kept running.
You see Frank Tanana, a great shot. Look at Frank pointing right away that it hit Sachs.
Oh, you knew it hit something.
Oh, we've seen it all this game, haven't we?
Have we ever? We couldn't stand a doubleheader today.
We've got about 16 innings maybe on tap here.
Oh, hey. You're kidding me. I know you're kidding.
Now, I want Frank to win this game so he can get in double figures again.
Well, he's right back to the mound. Good play by Tanana. He picked it off. It was headed for center field. You see the cap of Sachs go high in the air, the helmet. He was disappointed. 4-2, the Tigers lead it. Box inning, and going for the prize today is Arwood Kanzier from Sterling Heights. Now, if a Tiger hits a home run this inning, Arwood, you're going to win $100 and a share of the $10,000 bonus at the end of the year. So good luck to you, Arwood Kanzier.
And another new pitcher for the Yankees, Lance McCullers. Previously pitched with the San Diego Ball Club. As you take a look at his record, 4-3. He has been pitching great baseball ever since the break, and that's one reason why the rumor has it around here now that Righetti is going to be moved back into the starting rotation, and the relief job will be this man and Guterman. So he has done a good job since the All-Star break.
Yeah, they were totally disappointed in this fellow before the All-Star game, and he's turned it up a notch or two since then. 1 strike to Doug Strange. He'll be followed by Pettis and then Trammell. We're in the 7th inning in New York. The Tigers lead it 4-2, and a fly ball foul. It's going to go foul down the right field line. Boy, that might have had the distance had it been right down the line. Doug Strange has 1 home run this year. And this pitch coming from McCullers. Good breaking ball. Hangs outside. Makes it 1-2. This fellow throws hard. And he strikes him out. Well, Strange is out. 1 out in the 7th, and the batter will be Gary Pettis.
Gibson's starting to throw in the bullpen. Henneman was throwing earlier.
Center fielder.
You see Mike standing alongside, kibitzing a little bit.
Gary Pettis is single today, 1 for 3, and a bunt that will go into the Tiger dugout. And it went in there pretty good. That's Jeff Robinson and Matt Noakes.
2 disappointing years right there, those 2 guys. Both because of injuries.
Yeah, a lot of injuries right there. I saw a list the other day of players on the disabled list. Unbelievable. All over the league. Unbelievable. Tigers had so many you couldn't count it.
Henderson again will lead the American League in stolen bases, which nothing new there.
Fellas had a big year. He was playing a mediocre year in New York before he was traded, but he's had an impact out there with the Oakland club. Here's a strike to Gary Pettis. Makes it 3-2. Ball 3, strike 2, 1 out in the 7th. Tigers lead by 2. And a drive into right field. Mel Hall will grab it about knee high. This fella came over here with a reputation of being a mediocre outfielder, but he's made some good plays. So it'll be Alan Trammell with 2 outs and nobody on. Alan looking for his first hit today. Walked his last time up. One ball, no strikes. And a drive into the gap in left center. This will be extra bases all the way to the fence. Trammell will hold at second with a double. He shelled that one hard on a line into left center and a long drive into the power alley here at Yankee Stadium.
Tram really stays on this ball. You see his head down over the barrel of the bat and lines it sharply in the gap. Probably won't give Lou Whitaker much to hit at with the base open.
That was hit number 6 for the Tigers today. The Yankees have 7. Not only 7 hits, but they've committed 5 errors, which contributed to the Tiger lead. The Yankees have. There's a drive to right field. Mel Hall on the run, can't get it. It's over his head. Trammell scores. On to second goes Whitaker with a stand-up double. Boy, he hit it hard.
Well, one of the problems, like here in Tiger Stadium, that right fielder is so close to the line drive. You have to be able to react. The first step is what makes or breaks this play. He hits the ball so hard it gets over your head in a hurry, and that's exactly what happened here. Bucky Dent has to be sort of second-guessing himself with a base open.
Yeah. And it looked like a ball, Al, that Mel Hall should have caught when it was first hit, but as you say, didn't react, and it quickly got over his head. Pitch is low to Bergman. 5-2, the Tigers lead it in the 7th inning. Lance McCullers delivers a breaking ball for a strike. One ball, 1 strike to Bergman, who's batted 1 time in this game, and he walked. A double by Whitaker's his second hit today. He's had a walk, a single, and a double. And a good play by Dorsett.
You think Brian, after a couple good years, will change his name?
Well, we speculated before the telecast started whether it was Dorsett or Dorsett, and they told us Dorsett. Someone said, well, when Tony Dorsett was playing at Pittsburgh, it was Dorsett, and it became Dorsett. Well, we'll see. This is low to Bergman. Tony Dorsett might be playing his final year too, after a great career in the NFL. This one outside, so Bergman gets another walk. The batter is Lemon. Toronto has a 3-2 lead over Baltimore in the bottom of the 7th. They're trying to complete the 3-game sweep and bring it home like champions. They won the first 2 to clinch it. They'd like to win 3 straight. Well, McCullers got the first 2 batters this inning. Struck out Strange, got Pettis on a fly to right. Then a double by Trammell, a double by Whitaker, and a walk to Bergman. And here's a bouncer to third. It's bobbled and safe. I tell you, I've never seen so many errors on routine plays.
And this again is a routine play. This is a play that when coaches hit it to you, you just have no problem whatsoever making it.
can't believe it. You bobble the ball like that. To begin with, put two hands on it. It will help a whole lot. Rick Shue is the batter with the bases loaded, and he takes it outside. The 6th error today for the Yankees. Rick fouls it away. Rick Shue had a single back in the 2nd inning. Scored a run. He's 1 for 3 on the day. The 1-1 pitch. It's outside, ball 2. Tiger base runners. That's Lou Whitaker. Bergman is the runner at second base, and Lemon is on at first base. The 2-1 pitch to Shue is ball 3. He has no place to put him. Ball 3, strike 1. McCullers gets ready, and the 3-1 pitch is hit high in the air into left field. Over near the stands is Lawton, and he's going to catch it. Oh, it's foul, but he picks it off down there. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's 5-2 Detroit. But because the Tiger reached base, we're going to be sending our designated Bud batter, Arwood Kanzier, from Sterling Heights, a Budweiser jacket and cap. We've had 3 winners this year. They were C.W. Pudlow from Warren, Michigan, Marty Gregg from Mount Clemens, Michigan, and Tim Roach from Mattawan, Michigan. And these 3 people will split $10,000. We want to thank everyone who entered. We received more than 55,000 entries, and we thank all of you. Here's a ball hit to third. Rick Shue will make the play, and they finally get Espinosa out. Espinosa had 3 straight hits, 2 singles and a double. The batter will be Mattingly. 5-2. The Tigers lead it. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. And we might add, of our 3 winners in the home run inning this year, Rick Shue hit 2 of the home runs. I'll have to ask James Petrelka who hit the other one.
I was just going to ask
Whitaker.
you for a big prize. Who hit the other one?
Was it Whitaker?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought maybe you knew.
Bergman.
Dave Bergman. Okay. There's a strike to Mattingly. Strike 2. One out, nobody on in the 7th, and the Tigers lead by 3. And here's one foul down the line and right. I don't know whether he was looking for a breaking ball or not, but he flat got on that one and hit it hard. We'll see if he gets a fastball. He does, and he goes to left field. Foul with it. So he has to be looking a little bit, looking for the curveball. He pulled the curve. He hit the fastball late.
But Don wears a protector on his thumb because he does get jammed somewhat because he waits so well on the ball and tries to hit to left field.
A 2-strike pitch. Oh, here comes the Eephus, and he bounces it to short. Well, he'd seen it all from Tanana, and then he got the Eephus pitch, and with 2 strikes on him, he couldn't let it go by. How about this?
Well,
Take a look at it.
This is a rainbow here. Look at this one. This is the biggest Eephus I've ever seen.
I don't think it was a strike, but Mattingly says I'm not going to be called out. Second out of the inning, and the batter is Balboni, and here's Don Mattingly. He said, what's this game coming to? It's been that kind of a day, Don. He's talking to himself. Here's the Eephus pitch, and it's outside. Ball 2, no strikes to Steve Balboni. I never will forget with the Red Sox, Lou Boudreau was the manager, and I was there. Bases loaded in the 10th inning, 1 out. Satchel Paige was pitching for the Cleveland Indians. Here's a long fly ball. This one's well hit and got a chance. It's gone. Steve Balboni has drilled it to the deepest part of this ballpark. Right into the Tiger bullpen.
Well, he hit it directly over the 399 mark in left center field. Big guy, they said early before the game, he hit the longest home run by a Yankee this year. And you see the swing fastball that he got in the middle of the plate, and the ball goes directly over the 399 mark.
And here's Sparky coming out. He might want a pitching change. He does. He has signaled to the bullpen. Sparky will make a change right here. He wants to bring in a right-hander with Barfield at the plate, and the Tigers leading by 2. And while there's a break in the action, we're going to pause for these messages on the Tiger Baseball Network.
11 wins, and that's high on the Tiger pitching staff. 11-4. He has been dynamite since July 25th, 5-0 with 5 saves. In 24 games, he's allowed just 7 earned runs in 34 2/3 innings. He's third in the American League with a percentage of .733. Mike, even though you don't expect your closers to have that type of a win-loss record, but Mike, who struggled somewhat early in the year, had some problems, physical problems, but as I mentioned, since July 25th, he's been outstanding.
I'll finish my story before I lose my train of thought. Lou Boudreau had been Satchel Paige's manager in Cleveland. He came to Boston. Lou was the player manager at Boston. And in a 10th inning with the bases loaded, he put himself in to hit in a tie ball game. And on the first pitch, Lou called for the squeeze play. He bunted the ball down the first baseline, got the run in. And when we were walking up through the tunnel after the game, both teams used the same tunnel. Satchel Paige said, "Mr. Boo, I'm disappointed in you. I thought you'd slug it out with me." And he said, "Not with you, Satch. Not with you. I know better." Here's a strike to Jesse Barfield. And that's what Tanana was trying to stay away from with Balboni. He didn't want to slug it out with him, but he did, and Balboni hit the home run. Here's strike 2 as Henneman comes right back at him. Frank Tanana, another masterpiece for this man. If the Tigers win, he'll get his 10th win of the year, and it could very easily be 17, 18.
Would give him, if he wins this game, 6 straight years in double figures and 12th time in 17 years in double figures.
And he's lost some tough ball games. Pitching without runs. The 2-strike pitch to Barfield. He struck him out. Jesse Barfield strikes out at the end of 7. The Tigers lead at 5-3.
Well, we have a new second baseman. Wayne Tollison replaces Steve Sax. Steve Sax came into this ball game leading all second basemen in fielding, so he did not make an error today, and he will end up leading the second basemen in fielding. Whether or not that will get him a Gold Glove is yet to be seen.
They were playing happy birthday to Roberto Kelly. Between innings, Roberto is not playing today. He is batting at .302, and I'm sure that Bucky Dent won't keep him out of the lineup, let him have a .300 season. He's a brilliant young ball player and should have many good years ahead here in New York. Here's Mike Heath. and a strike from McCullers. Lance came on in the 7th inning, gave up a run, and the Tigers had a chance to do more damage. They had the bases loaded when he got Rick Shue to fly out.
Talking about second baseman, we take a look at Lou Sater on the on-deck circle, talking about Steve Sax leading the American League. How about Ryan Sandberg over at Chicago? 89 consecutive games without an error, and that ties the major league record.
Here's a fly ball into right field. No, Hall will put it away. I guess while we were talking about most valuable players, Kevin Mitchell would probably be the choice, or Will Clark over there.
Pretty good choice, either one.
Very interesting, as you mentioned, top of the broadcast, the batting race. Will Clark battling Tony Gwynn. Only 1 point separated those two at start of play today. And in the American League, Kirby Puckett, Langford were tied, did you say?
Tied.
Absolutely tied, Puckett and Lansford. Lansford has led the league before. So the Red Sox at that time when he led the league back in 1981.
He's the last right-hander to lead the league.
And there'll be another one then. Matt Noakes in the on-deck circle. Scott Luceta, the batter, and the pitch is bounced toward first. Big hop to Mattingly. So 2 outs in the 8th inning, and Matthews coming on to bat for Strange.
Batting for Strange.
Matt Noakes, who has had his share of the injuries this year. Out for a long time, you remember, with a knee injury. Now it's in his shoulder. He can't throw. Can swing a bat, but he has not been catching. He bats with 2 outs and nobody on. And he pops it high in the air. Mattingly will make the play on it as he comes up the line. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 5-3 Detroit. Tiger Brain Trust starting on your left, looking in. That's Billy Muffet, then Sparky Anderson, Alex Gramos, Vada Benson, and Dick Trzeski. I assume, Al, they'll all be back. They've been invited back.
Yes, Sparky said all of his coaches will be invited back. The only one missing is Billy Consolo, and he's probably down talking to one of the players down the other end of the bench.
Very unusual picture. We didn't line them up that way. They just happened to be lined up there. And yes, Billy Consolo will be back too. Brian Dorsett will lead it off in the 8th inning for the Yankees. They're down by 2. Dorsett, Hall, and Blowers. Mike Henneman, the pitcher. Mike came on in the 7th inning and struck out Barfield for the final out of the inning. Dorsett's 0 for 3 on the afternoon, all against Tanana, and he fouls this one away. Tigers fly back to Detroit right after the ball game, and then the players scatter tomorrow. Those who do not live in the Detroit area will be packing and heading for home. The 1-1 pitch. And a strike makes it 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, nobody out in the 8th. The pitch from Henneman. This is fouled off. 30,009 the attendance today. 30,000 plus in the ballpark for the final game of the season. Good crowd on hand.
Yankees were 2,140,000 coming into this game.
So they go 2,170 plus. It's beginning to cloud up a bit and a little bit cooler. Ball 2 and strike 2. Brian Dorsett, and a good shot from center field. He fouls this one away. Tigers got 3 in the second, 1 in the third to go out in front 4-0. The Yankees got 2 in the third inning. Then the Tigers scored a run in the 7th, and the Yankees came back on a home run by Balboni, and it's a 5-3 ball game. The pitch coming up is base hit into right. So Dorsett hangs on and lines it past Whitaker into right field.
Well, Mike gets this fastball up and out over the plate, and to his credit, Dorsett was going that way, looked like from the very start.
Mel Hall.
So the leadoff man is on, and the batter will be Mel Hall, who's had a single in 3 trips. Mel Hall, as Al pointed out to you, had 2 home runs on Friday night against Jack Morris. So he's got the punch to tie up this ball game. 17 home runs on the year. He's batted in 58 runs. Mike Heath flashing the signs out to Mike Henneman. And a ball hit to first base, fair. Doe to second for 1 out. Relay safe. Well, they made it close at first place on a very difficult double play ground ball. Bergman was playing deep.
Ball not hit hard. Mel Hall not running all that hard, being the last game of the season, and makes it close at first base.
It's 1 out, and the batter will be Mike Blowers. Mike's had a single and a walk today and a strikeout, so he's 1 for 2. Pitches outside to Blowers. Youngster has made a couple of errors on very routine plays at third base today. On a strike. We'll make it 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. Mike Henneman pitching in relief of Tanana. And a base hit into left. Flowers drills it hard into left field, and they have him at first and second. Paul Gibson is throwing in the Tiger bullpen.
Look like we're going to get a pinch hitter. Hal Morris is on deck. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he might be from the University of Michigan.
Batting for Waltham, number 21, Hal Morris.
He's been up and down a couple of times this year between New York and Columbus. So they bring him on here in the 8th inning with 2 on, 1 out, and the Yankees down by 2.
I am right. He did attend the University of Michigan.
Tigers deep on the infield. They look for the double play ball. Pitches inside, says Chuck Merriweather. 1 ball, no strikes.
Morris has been a pretty good hitter in the minor leagues. He has never had too much power, at least in the minor leagues, but has hit 300 a couple times.
He had a big swing at it. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's batting .294 as a pinch batter for the Yankees. Batted in 4 runs. Well, they're in the 2nd inning in Atlanta of the first game of a doubleheader. Liable to be a long day in Atlanta. Here's a strike at the outside corner, and the count goes 1-2. This is Tolleson in the on-deck circle. He got into the game in place of Steve Sachs. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hal Morris. The pitch coming up from Henneman. We'll make it 2-2. Boy, he made a good pitch on it. And the youngster held up in time. Ball 2, strike 2. 2 on and 1 out. And the Tigers lead by 2 in the 8th inning. Ball hit to second. This could be a double play, and it is. Whitaker to Trammell, on to Bergman. At the end of 8, the Tigers lead by 2. Now let's take a look at the Greater Michigan and Metro Detroit Ford Dealers American League scoreboard. 7-3. Baltimore got 5 in the 8th inning. They lead Toronto 7-3. No score in the top of the 6th. In Chicago, the Indians and the White Sox. Boston 5, Milwaukee 1. That's a final. Kansas City plays at Oakland later. Minnesota at Seattle, and Texas at California. All late starting games on the West Coast. And we're in the 9th inning here in New York. The Tigers 5 and the Yankees 3.
We're waiting for a left fielder. I would imagine Morris. No, he's not going to stay in the game.
Looks like Polonia.
Yes, Polonia is going to go out left field. He forgot his sunglasses and had to come all the way back in.
Luis Polonia will play left field. Hal Morris got into the game batting for Marcus Lawton. So Polonia goes into left. It'll be the top of the batting order for the Tigers. Gary Pettis, Alan Trammell, and Lou Whitaker. And a big swing by Pettis, who's had a single today. 1 for 4. Yankee pitcher is Lance McCullers, the 3rd pitcher today. Kevin Mamahat started. Clay Parker came on in the 3rd. McCullers in the 7th. Tigers have used 2. Ball 2, strike 1 to Gary Pettis. They'd like to pad the lead a little bit here in the 9th. Ball hit to second. Tolleson picks it off. So Gary Pettis is out. 1 out in the 9th. And we're going to pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Detroit Tiger Baseball Network.
Shortstop.
Well, bloopers don't get any better or funnier than this. The ultimate best of Bernie's bloopers. That'll be Tuesday at 7:30 only on Channel 4. This is Alan Trammell. And the pitch is low.
This year, certainly Allen will be glad to forget in a hurry. All kind of problems starting in spring training. Never fully recovered from a bad back down in spring training.
Ball 2, no strikes to Trammell. We'll make it 3-0. He's had a hit today. He doubled, scored a run in the 7th inning. And a strike. Ball 3, strike 1. Whitaker would bat next. Here's one down the line foul, and he broke his bat with that one. So a new WAR club for Alan Trammell. Batting at .243, 5 home runs and 43 runs batted in. Philadelphia beat Montreal. That's a final 5-3 in Philadelphia. And a fly ball to right. Mel Hall moves back a few steps. Well, Trammell is out. 2 outs in the ninth.
Second baseman,
The batter will be Whitaker.
Whitaker.
Mets lead Pittsburgh 7-0 in the 7th. Cubs lead the Cardinals 2-0 in the 5th. There's Whitaker, who's had a double, a single, and a walk today. And he'd like to close out the '89 campaign with his 29th home run of the year. And it's low ball, too.
But it's been a good one for this young man. He's been very consistent all year long.
And a check swing roller toward the mound. Oh, Whitaker's out. The inning is over. We go to the bottom of the 9th. 5-3 Detroit. This might be the youngest fan in the ballpark today. I'd say she'd be in the running. We're at the bottom of the 9th inning in New York. The Tigers 5, the Yankees 3. Mike Henneman trying to close it out on a winning note for the Tigers. He'll be facing the top of the batting order. Tollison will lead it off.
I think it's Randy Velarde.
Oh, we're going to get a batter. Randy Velarde for Tollison. Then Espinosa and Mattingly in the 9th.
That's a surprise. Tollison, a left-handed batter or switch hitter. But I guess he's trying to get everybody into the final game, maybe.
Mike Henneman came on in the 7th inning after Balboni's home run made it 5-3. He struck out Barfield, gave up a couple of hits in the 8th inning, but a double play ball got him out of the 8th. And it's 1 strike to Velarde. Strike 2. Boy, he had that one in a perfect spot and a tough place for a right-handed hitter to reach it and do anything with it. A strike 2 pitch. Boy, he got it over but high. Makes it 1-2 to Randy. Tigers 5 runs on 7 hits. The Yankees 3 runs on 10 hits. This one's fouled away. I guess the big story of the game has been errors. The Yankees have committed 6 on this Sunday afternoon. The Tigers 1. One ball, 2 strikes to the pinch hitting Randy Velarde. Batting for Tollison, leading off in the bottom of the 9th inning. Mike Henneman gets his sign from Mike Heath, and the pitch coming up. Ball hit to first base. An easy play for Bergman. So there's 1 out. The batter will be Espinosa.
Shortstop, Alvaro Espinosa.
And he should get a good hand from this crowd who really appreciates players who give a good effort day in and day out, and certainly Espinosa has done that. Probably the 4th or 5th shortstop in the organization when the year started, and he has won the job, and looks like he's going to be there for a while.
He's getting a standing ovation. He's had 3 hits today. The pitch is high. He is batting .283. He's going to finish the year in the 280s. A good season for him. Pitch inside. Makes it ball 2. The organist, always good here at Yankee Stadium, playing Thanks for the Memories. And there's been a few memories in this old ballpark. starting with the days of Babe Ruth. To DiMaggio, to Mantle, and right on into the Mattingly era. The 2-1 pitch coming up to Espinosa, and he bounces it to shortstop. Oh, took a bad hop, and he still gets it. Ball almost scooted away from Trammell. And here's the standing ovation for Mattingly. Oh, they're really on their feet for this man.
And they were disappointed when Frank Tanana got him out on that blooper pitch because they thought that was going to be the last time that they got the chance to see him. But here he is in the last inning.
Mike Henneman says, I've got to battle Mattingly and the crowd. And he delivers a strike.
Shot of Tommy Brookins right behind Espinosa.
And he pops it up. It might get out of play. Heat near the dugout. He'll catch it, and the ball game is over. Henneman gets them 1, 2, 3 in the ninth. The final score of the game. The Tigers 5, the Yankees 3, and we'll be right back. Busch Beer Tiger Player of the game is Frank Tanana, who turned in another outstanding performance here today, winning his 10th game of the year, the 6th straight year he's finished in double figures. So our congratulations to you, Frank Tanana, our Busch Beer Tiger Player of the game. Well, for Al Kaline and Bernie Smilovitz, this is George Kell, hoping you'll be with us in March for our coverage of Tiger Exhibition Baseball. Once again, the final score today from Yankee Stadium, the Tigers 5 and the Yankees 3.
Tiger Baseball has been brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And presented by your Greater Michigan and Metro Detroit Ford dealers. Tigers Baseball, another reason why WDIV is first for sports.